So, a loving, truthful answer is always coming. There's a lot more in the booklet. We're going to skip over that because it's not yellow. But I hope that you read through this section on guides because there's a lot in there. It's helpful. And so we're going to just skim through the angels section and the light beings as well. Here's the thing. There's a lot of powerful souls on this planet right now that have come here to make a difference. Make a difference. Why? Because as a biosphere, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. It's still time to turn this ship around, but it's like the Titanic, and we're headed for an iceberg. It's getting close. Hard to port. Hard to port. We have time, but baby, now is the time. If we delay too much longer, let's face it, we're going to hit the iceberg. Friends, there's an epidemic of cancer. There is not an unpolluted lake, stream on the planet. Scientists have proven this. Every single body of water on the planet is polluted. It's toxic. We're sick from it. Everybody's talking about how to treat cancer. Let's talk about the toxicity that's driving it. We're still building walls at our borders. The carbon emissions are still going up. When's it going to stop? Friends, it's time. It's time. So there are a lot of powerful beings on this planet. They've come here to make a difference. Now is the time. Now is the time. You might have them showing up on your massage tables. Our role is to help them wake up. They've come to make a difference. Wise divine minds have woven a tapestry of all these individual plans to make a plan that works for our world. We can do it. There's still time. We all have to do our part, or enough of us have to do our part to make a difference. But we have to consider that we count, that our decisions in every moment count. We don't know how close we are to the tipping point. Maybe you're the one who makes the difference. You could be the one. You could be the one. You could be the one. We could be the one. We're so close. But friends, hard to port. Hard to port. Whoop! Pull this ship over. You see? It's time. It's time. It's time. We can do it. We can do it. By working together, each doing our part, the world transforms. Never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. That's Margaret Mead. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. We can do it. So watch for them. They'll show up on your massage tables. They will. And their guides will say scary things to them. They will. Because their guides will say, you're here to make a difference. Now's the time. Step up. And they'll say, I'll do it next year. Sometimes. It's okay. Sometimes they'll say, all right. And they'll do a little bit of it. And that's okay too. So, there's a lot in the book about that, but I'm out of time. So I'm not going to talk about that. But it's there, and please read through it. So we'll start with light beings. Light beings support individual healing. We begin to introduce them in level 2. I'm still focusing, trying to learn exactly where to introduce them into the program. But we start with screen masters, cord masters, spear masters, because those are groups who like to teach us skills that we can then start to use to put our shoulder to the wheel, to put our effort into it, to start to activate grace. And now, in this weekend, we start to work with other light beings. And the reason that we're working with these groups, these particular groups that we'll be working with coming up, are because they well, the reason is because that's what I'm told to do. But my understanding of the rationale behind that is that these are the groups that will show up first. They will work with us first. You see, we have to remember, how do I sign my emails? Stinky garden hose. Stinky garden hose. We're all stinky garden hoses. That the higher dimension beings will, no disrespect, the higher dimension beings will hold their noses to work through, to make a difference in the world. And so it's okay. Do miracles still happen? Am I beating myself up over being a stinky garden hose? No, it's the reality of it. It's the truth. I'm a stinky garden hose. It's okay. Because I'm not arguing with it and not denying it and not resisting it, they will hold their nose and work through me. Donna, when she reviewed my case study, commented on that as a really dirty garden hose. Is that true? It was true. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be a dirty garden hose, to see it clearly as, wow, I'm a dirty garden hose. Game on. I don't intend to be a dirty garden hose for forever. Cleaning this garden hose out. But the tiny hands light beings will work with us at the very start. You see? And so that's why we begin with them. And we'll start with them right after lunch. Can we come? How do people feel about coming back from lunch at a half an hour as opposed to an hour? And this has to work for webinar friends too. So everybody chime in and we'll address this question in 10 minutes, okay? So everybody chime in because I'm behind schedule and it will come out of something. It might come out of talking time, it might come out of practice time because we have to end at 6. And so our choices are take it out of lunch, take it out of talk, take it out of practice. The issue is this. These are 3-day classes. We're teaching them in 2 days because hotels cost us, because we spend $3,000 on hotels a month and we have to have tuition to cover it, you see? And so if we're going to add another day, then it will be spending $4,500. Does that make sense? We have to have tuition to cover it. So nobody's making money. This is an all-volunteer organization. No one's paid. I'm not paid. No one's paid. Teaching team, is this true? Admin team, volunteers, anybody who sees our stuff, is this true? Right. So we have to understand the reality is that we're taking 3 days and compressing it into 2, and we're starting where we are, using what we have, and doing what we can. So, tiny hands, come in first. And we'll work with them first. Minors work with connection to the planet, helping us with our upward flow. Without that, it's not going to work. That's our job. That's our job as the incarnating member of the healing team. Medics work to heal the physical body. When we're sick, life is tough. Who's ever been very ill for a long time? How's life? Struggle, tough. So, medics, very helpful. This is the order in which they will often appear naturally in the sessions. As we're growing, light beings will show up spontaneously and naturally in the sessions. That's one signal that you're growing. Now, telling the difference between the astral beings and the light beings is important there. You see, because you could be having lots of astral beings showing up. That's something different. Does that make sense? It's okay. Magnetic services. We'll get with them tomorrow. They support soul growth, light body expansion, growth. And then protective angels. They are true angels. And I'm still not 100% clear about why they're in this class, but I think I have my working theory. And my working theory is this. There are people in these classes who are here to make a difference in the world. Angels are interested in people who are making a difference in the world. People who are making a difference in the world have angelic protection that is not available to other people. Not because we're calling the shots, but because we aren't calling the shots. Does that make sense? Because we aren't calling the shots. And so when we offer ourselves in service to the greater good, and remember to ask for protection, we have protection that isn't available to others. Not because it could be, step up, make a difference, help! That choice is available to everybody. It's because of choice. Does that make sense? I'm sorry I shouted. It wasn't me. Okay, so it wasn't passion. It wasn't me. People get all confused about what goes on here because it looks like it's me. Right? It does.